everyone, it's Megan here and great to see you back. It is 43 degrees Celsius here where I am, and I think that's roughly 105, 106 Fahrenheit. It could even be hotter, so I don't know, it's pretty hot here today. So you have been one of the people from 50 countries who have watched our series of videos. So first of all, I just want to say thank you very much and appreciate it. So today's the day you get to decide, is the full-blown course right for you? Okay, so you've gone through the free training and now you know how important project procurement skill base is, how that leads to project success. But you're probably wondering, what's the point of doing the full course and how does that differ? So we are going to deep dive. We are going to go above and beyond what you learnt in the 3 videos. We're really going to smash into some content and really go into greater depth with that. But here's the big benefit that you get. From the seat you're sitting in, you are going to become a much better project manager, a procurement manager, a project team, or some kind of stakeholder. You are going to impact the projects you work on. You don't need to run around and research. You don't need to learn by failing. From where you're sitting now, you can go through the whole course, get access to us and to the rest of the community, and you are going to learn this way, and you are going to be much more valuable to your organisation, your projects and your future. And the thing is, if you get up and leave and go to another position, you are going to add much more value in your CV to the next organisation as well, because you are going to come armed with the skills and knowledge to help their organisations and their projects as well. Okay, now we're going to jump over to the slides and we're going to recap what we learned in the 3 videos. Let's have a look at that project pane, some of the things we need to run our projects better, to procure better and to make sure we get the best whole cost with best supply.
Okay, so we're just going to go back over some of the content we went through in the 3 videos. Remember, we spoke about skills, knowledge and competency failures. And we said if there's one ingredient that most effectively increases the chance of project success, it is expertise. And where a project lacks the knowledge and skills, we see that quality levels and productivity are lower, and we have risk of serious errors or omissions rise really quickly. So what was the definition of project procurement? Project procurement is both a term and a process used to describe and achieve the acquisition of goods and services to best serve the deliverables of the project objectives. Project objectives are predetermined primarily in the project startup phase, and then there are a set of procurement activities undertaken in accordance with the project procurement plan to help achieve those objectives. So, knowing and understanding the objectives of the project is what drives project procurement. It's a critical aspect of the project as the activities work to ensure the project runs according to plan in terms of scope, time, quality, cost and risk. Therefore, project procurement planning and delivery is vital to achieving a successful outcome for the project. So what is there to understand about procurement then? Some of the skills required are to be able to ensure that products are delivered on time to budget, that we have legally binding contracts in place. So, supply has fulfilled the laws of the country, occupational health and safety, trade practices, ethics are all transparent, that company policies and programs are adhered to, that we have done risk assessment, we've established the weighting criteria, and negotiation processes are understood and proactive, that we have a tender preparation, evaluation and execution that follows a set process, supplier selection and evaluation follows best practice processes, responsibilities are defined and understood, that the relationship between the project team and procurement is proactive and collaborative, finalisation and review processes are in place, and of course we can keep adding to the list. So we really want to stress it's more than just a relationship, it is also learned knowledge. So planning for procurement. Important aspects of successful procurement: that products and services are available when required, they meet necessary conditions and quality requirements. Obviously, research and planning is essential. So then, what are the risks associated with project procurement? Whenever a product or service is acquired from outside your organisation, there are risks associated. Each of these risks may significantly affect the project's objectives if they're realised. So for each risk that we identify, we'll have a corresponding entry in the risk register, and they might include that the supplier can't deliver the required quantity, the quality of the products and services is not directly under your control, the supplier might not deliver on time. Then another area that we looked at was, how do we know the supplier's intent to respond? And we spoke about what's your process when you send out requests to the marketplace. We see repeatedly organisations send out their RFT, RFP, RFQ, and then simply wait and hope that they receive enough adequate responses when the request closing time happens. And when it comes to opening the responses, they find not enough suppliers have responded, and a lot of the time, those that have aren't a good fit. So, next thing you know it, you're going back to the market and your project is already delayed. So what should you do? Always understand the project needs, especially if what you're sourcing is critical to the delivery of the project, then plan. And during the planning stage, engage with key stakeholders. Ensure the specifications are thorough. Research potential suppliers, devise clauses and criteria, attach the weightings. Then you can have confidence when you go to the market. I know it sounds simple, but we can tell you it isn't done all the time. Be proactive. When you send out the request, add criteria and have your suppliers A, acknowledge that they received the request, and B, indicating whether they will be responding. Take control. So here's an example that we showed from our sourcing software. When a supplier gets a request from us, they have to check into the send intend to respond, and they say we will or will not be submitting our offer by the close date. Then in another screen, we can see the suppliers we've gone to market with and who is going to respond. So it's taking the guesswork out. We have the control and we know whether we've got to go to new suppliers or more suppliers right at the start of the process. We don't lose valuable time. Okay, project scope, that's another hot topic. Project scope pertains to the work necessary to deliver a product. So from the perspective of the project plan, it is the sum total of its products and the extent of their requirements. It's best described and illustrated by the product breakdown structure and then the associated product descriptions. By thoroughly planning and describing the scope, it enables all stakeholders to clearly understand what the project is and isn't delivering. So it's critical that the stakeholder is in agreement with the information discussed in the plan. Everyone needs to be on the same page. So for the illustration we had a look at, our project is delivering a Christmas lunch. There's going to be meat, vegetable and condiment components. The meat, vegetable and condiments are collective groups. We use these group headings for brainstorming. They are not actually deliverables. For the meat, we had turkey, chicken, ham and lamb. For the veggies, potatoes, carrots and pumpkin. Condiments, gravy, white sauce, applesauce and mustard. So, the blue rectangles are the products and you need to deliver all of the products so that your project is successfully delivered. So each product identified has an associated product description. Hence, if this is done thoroughly and collectively with key stakeholders, then the procurement process becomes a whole lot simpler. By drilling down and knowing what the products need to be delivered, we can then manage to that level of detail. Just remember, you increase costs when you are ambiguous in your request to market. So the more specific your request can be, the better the pricing you are going to receive. And by understanding what your project scope is and the product description of each product, that is how you're going to have clarity internally and externally when you go to market. So project scope certainty plus procurement certainty equals supplier certainty, which in turn equals best supplier fit at best whole cost. And the end result, your project delivery goes according to plan. Best case scenario. Okay, quick look at stakeholders. A stakeholder is anyone who is affected or can affect the project. So in a project, some of the stakeholders, the project manager, procurement, the project team, supplier interest, interested parties, user interest, and of course, your suppliers. There can be extra stakeholders. There could be disgruntled parties. As long as you're aware of them, you can plan how to communicate with them. So just to recap, we've covered skills and knowledge. So lack of skills leads to project implosions. Risk, we need to be aware of what poor procurement can do. Supplier intent, we need to be proactive and drive the process. Project scope, drill down through a product breakdown structure and associated product descriptions, then use them as the basis of specifications to go to market. And stakeholders, identify them, build relationships, communicate, and especially engage with procurement early.
Okay, so here's the deal. When you go through the course, you're going to know all of that information in much greater depth. You are going to be much more powerful and much more valuable within your organisation. Remember, we want to focus on the organisation, your project, and your future. And again, remember the skills are transferable. What you learn, all you do is increase. You increase in knowledge and ability. And it's such a bonus for you to take along your journey. Okay, now let's talk about the structure of the course. The project procurement course is a series of modules. There's 12 modules that you complete over 6 weeks. There's an element of homework, but don't stress out. The homework is actually going to embed the learning. You're going to be able to not just have head knowledge, but be applicable back at the workplace, which is going to be so much more important for you and your organisation and of course the project you're working on. Then once a week we are going to have a live interactive web session where we can all jump on as a group and we'll discuss the week's learning. You can ask any questions pertaining to that or something that you've tried to apply. You can get the feedback from us and you can also get the feedback from your other classmates. We really want to build up this community where we support each other. Okay, so now we're going to have a look at what the course covers. So like I said, we've got 12 modules. We'll do 2 modules a week. So we've got module 1, which is, if you can follow on the screen, procurement management guidelines for project managers. Module 2 is the relationship between the project team and procurement during the project life cycle. So we touched on that very briefly. Module 3 is the contracting and procurement process and its 4 stages. Module 5, knowledge and skills involved in procurement planning. Module 6, we've got tender documents, and I think anyone involved in this knows how precarious they can be, and if not handled properly can get you into a lot of trouble. Module 7, assisting the selection of a supplier. What do we look for? How do we know how to put together weightings and criteria? How do we not just look at price, but make sure we get the best supplier fit at best whole cost? Module 9, dispute resolution and negotiations. That is a critical and important part of all kind of procurement and project management. Module 10 is the tender evaluation itself. Module 11, weighting systems, Module 12, risks associated with procurement, and finally Module 13 will wrap up finalising and reviewing the procurement process. So I said we had 12 modules. There you go, you get a bonus one. We've actually got 13 modules. Okay, now we're going to go over to Bill, and he's at a surprise location. So we'll hear from them, and then it'll be back to, we'll hear from him, and then it'll be back to me.
Welcome, and thanks for joining me on these videos. Here I am, downtown, the beautiful Broadmoor, Colorado Springs, in the snow. What I wanted to say was thank you for all the comments and reactions that we've had from our videos. It's been absolutely fantastic. Because many of you know that we started this review quite a few months ago. Now, along with that research prior to the videos, and the people we spoke to, I got a lot of interest, and they were saying that they were really happy with it. And as we're putting the videos up onto the web just not long back, things started to escalate, and the opportunities for us at PPI accelerated. Well, it told me straight away that the market and the business opportunities, they wait for no man. So, as I say, here I am. You know, when I first started talking about these videos, I was in Torquay, on my property. I was on the surf, in the sunshine, down at Bells Beach. Now, here I am in the USA, snow in Colorado, on my way to Texas. Beautiful place, very cold. Anyway, being cold, I think I will get a coffee, go inside and have a chat to you in there. Come and join me. Well, thanks for joining me inside. A lot warmer and a good cup of coffee. Now, I've written down a few notes just to try to keep on track here, so I'll refer to them as I go. First thing I wanted to say that is that this trip, in essence, is really thanks to all of you out of there, because many of you have told us how important you thought that the training is, and you believe in it. So this need to train procurement, project and team members in the knowledge that is required for good project procurement is essential. And that's the thing that drove us through the networks and people ringing us to an opportunity to come out here to the USA. So as soon as I finished the last video, as it were, I was literally going to the airport to get on a plane to come out here to the States. And so I've spent about 34, 36 hours in traveling, and 10 of those was in the airport at Los Angeles, which wasn't too pleasant, but it gave me plenty of time to read and to finish off things that I was doing and to do a bit of research and rethinking about all of this information that was trying to go through my mind. You sent a lot of comments, and good comments, and one of them came in from a fellow by the name of David in Canada. I just want to read what David says. He says, "Thank you for this, and you're absolutely spot on. I see this as an area with gaps in the knowledge and experience. I am working and living in Canada, currently minus 12 degrees, so I know what he means." And it goes on to say, "And even in public procurement, with its guidelines and processes, there is a lack of integration between procurement and projects." After reading that particular comment, I thought, yeah, he's grasped it all. So I thought I would stop in my travels and just take a minute to put together this video clip and to get it up on the net, just to more or less to say thank you to you, because I want to encourage you on your journey and maybe take a couple of the thoughts and the insights that I've come across in the last few days. During this trip, I was able to finish a book I was reading on the plane, and that book is Disrupt You by Jay Sammet. And another book that I got once I arrived in America, the first book, was a book called In Pursuit of Purpose by Dr. Miles Monroe. Now, Ray Zammit on the front cover of his book says this: the book's about to master your personal transformation, to seize the opportunity and thrive in the era of endless innovation. Well, as some of you remember, in one of my earlier videos, I made a similar point of reinventing yourself that I picked up over in Asia when I was out there doing some work in a lecture. And what I had said was that you've got to be like the actor. You've got to reinvent yourself. The actor gets a script and he becomes that character, and so on as he builds up his repertoire to help him become a better actor. However, Ray says it better. What he says in the statement in the book is this: in this era of endless innovation, each of us has the power to seek out new problems to solve, to look inside and re-examine our strengths, and to develop a disruptor's mindset. Then he says our purpose is to contribute to the time we live in by reinventing ourselves and our world. As I said, I finished this book. The first book I pick up is Monroe's book, In Pursuit of Purpose. So reading through that, one of the statements that Monroe makes in his book is this: that purpose gives birth to hope and instills the passion to act. Going back through our stuff and reading our stuff, I've come to the conclusion, and I believe, and I'm sure, that we've developed a program that will give you the skills and the knowledge to make a change, and you can leave a legacy in your area of influence. So I want you to remember really what it's showing me is that we're all on a journey, and we'll continue to be on a journey. We'll continue to have to update our education and our learning, because this is what's going to drive us forward in an ever-changing environment. So I'd just like to say to you, many blessings as you continue on your travels. Thank you.
Okay, so I know that you must be wondering how much this is all going to cost you. Before we get into that, let me tell you, you've got a 30-day guarantee. If after doing the modules, attending the live classroom and the homework, you do not feel that this course content adds any value to you whatsoever, let us know and we'll refund your money. We've built up all our businesses pretty much through referral, and we don't want to keep your money if you're not happy. We live to make sure that we're an extension of your business, and that's how we succeed. So again, 30-day money-back guarantee. If we were going to come and teach you this on a consulting basis, this type of project to implement would cost tens of thousands of dollars. And that's the beauty of the internet these days. Because we can do it this way with a group, we can reduce the cost to just $997. That's right, just $997, and you get access to all the modules, to us live once a week for 6 weeks, and you are ready to move on. If you can't pay in one lump sum, that's okay, I understand. Been there, done that. You can make 3 monthly installments of $395 each. More than happy to facilitate that for you. We want as many people as possible to jump on this course and really learn all that we've got to teach you. Okay, would you believe it? We're about to get the cold change that has been predicted, and we're going to go from 43 down to 19 the next day. So if you hear a bit of rain or a bit of wind, that's what's happening. So we want to make sure that this is a no-brainer decision for you. We want to make sure that you feel so excited and full of anticipation about doing this course that it just becomes a really easy decision. So we've got 3 bonuses to give you. The first is that as soon as we finish this launch, the price is going up to $15.97. That means straight away you're getting a $600 discount. The second is because we are so intent on making sure you can apply this back at the workplace, we're going to give you a free 1-hour consultation. That'll be via Skype or email or phone, face-to-face, whichever way it works out. I'm putting a value of around $1,500 on that, but in reality we wouldn't do it. It wouldn't be worth doing something for an hour. But for you guys, we really want to make sure that that works. So anytime from the time you sign up to a few weeks after the course is finished, you can utilize that. And the third one is a communication management strategy course, because we find that project and procurement people might have great plans, but they don't have necessarily the best communication skills. So that's another training course that will be added to the portal for you to do when it suits you. So there's another value of around $2,500. So we really want to give lots of great value here, and we really do believe in what we're doing. The other thing that we're going to create is a Facebook members site. We really want to have this community that I alluded to earlier on, where you can go on, you can ask us questions, and you can interact with each other and ask questions of each other. Maybe something you're struggling with, someone else has already sorted out, or vice versa, you can give some advice. So we really want to make that a practical, just a really great go-to tool and a really safe and supportive community environment. Okay, so if this is all for you, and I'm certainly hoping it is, right now we're going to release the Buy Now button. So click on that. That'll take you to another screen, a form, and you can choose whether it's your one payment or whether it's the two payment option. And you can also nominate whether you want our free bonuses. Once we receive that, we'll send you the login details to the portal, and about a week after the cart closes, we are going to be live. We want to kind of get together as a group and do this. So that leads me to my pretty much last comment. We are only open for around 7 days. That's it, 7 days, and this all closes down. You'll see a countdown timer at the top of the screen just to let you know where you sit in those 7 days. So we are so excited to be doing this. Any questions, please contact us, and we sincerely hope that we see you. I'm so excited with people from over 50 countries who've been watching this. It's going to be awesome, and I can't wait to see you in the member site. Okay, bye for now.